Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency news channel. We got to talk about the Fed meeting, why crypto is actually going up right now. And despite that the Fed issued the largest interest rate hike in many years, why this is a good market signal, or at least a temporarily good market signal. I actually do believe the stock markets, the crypto markets might actually go down tomorrow because people are overreacting to this. Because let's actually take a look. They raised the interest rate, the Fed funds rate, by 50 basis points or 0.5%. Now, that doesn't directly affect the interest rate of borrowing and loaning, but it generally does. It's like a template for how much the interest rates should be for borrowing and loaning, which means people are having to pay a higher interest rate when they actually borrow money to buy stuff like houses or cars. That's how you shrink back the money supply and get people to stop overspending on stuff, and that's how you curb inflation. The Fed has to do this. Many people think they're still behind the curve, despite the fact that they are very hawkish about it. Many people were even suspecting a 75-point basis raise, but the Fed doesn't actually like to pull things out of its ass generally. The Fed is very much like to do things going according to plan. They don't like to actually surprise the markets, and they did not give enough signal. They would raise it by 75 basis points and not 50. So they did exactly what's expected. They also hinted that they're going to do exactly what's expected in June as well, raising it by another 50 basis points. Now, my guess is that they're going to raise it 50 basis points each of the next 3 meetings. And what that actually means is like by next year, we'll have an interest rate of about 2.25%. They could actually change those if the core CPI does not come down in the next couple of months. So the core CPI reports for the next couple of months are going to be very important, because if they accelerate the interest rate rise, the markets will not be expecting that and they'll react as such, and the markets will actually go down. But I think the markets are actually overreacting right now to this good news, because it is still the biggest interest rate hike of the last several years. Probably going back like at least 10 years or so, maybe even 20 years. The biggest rate hike of the last 2 decades, maybe. And the thing is, inflation is still there. It didn't just go away. Putin did not just surrender. The war is still going on. So you still have all these other economic pressures acting on the economy. That hasn't really stopped. I think people are getting a little bit euphoric that the Fed has not decided to just devastate people and the economy with a 75 basis point hike. So that's why I suspect tomorrow, either tomorrow or Friday, the market's probably going to be in the red. I mean, they still might be euphoric tomorrow, but if they're euphoric tomorrow, they might actually pull back a bit on Friday, because the actual situation with the economy on the ground really hasn't changed. Inflation is still there. The war is still there. And there's really not much you can actually do about that right now. The Fed still has a giant balance sheet, but they did not actually surprise the market. And the markets really like stability. That's why the markets are going to maintain its course right now. And as long as Jerome Powell actually maintains the course and do what he's expected to do, the markets should actually react pretty favorably. So cool. I still think Bitcoin's going to stay around 40,000 for a while, with a couple of small pumps and dumps. Elon Musk is going to pump probably like random crap like Bored Apes and stuff. But outside of that, everything's probably going to stay pretty neutral. So right now, once again, it is a very good time to yield farm and add up those rewards. Also, if your yield farming token suddenly goes up 300%, you should probably sell it this time and maybe buy back in later. So right now, the Fed is trying to promote some stability while they're increasing the interest rates. And I think Bitcoin's going to remain in this range for a while. The FOMC meeting did not produce anything unexpected, because if it did, Bitcoin would have tanked. They didn't do that. So Bitcoin is doing very well right now, and so is the rest of the market. But I do think a 600-point increase for the Dow is definitely an overreaction. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.